don't like the suggestion of a 40-year mortgage. And this really popped off. It was on the agenda for years, like, yeah, nah. And then BlackRock came out in Australia this year and went, hey, we're going to help you with 40-year mortgages. And I went, no, you're going to ruin Australian families' lives. And that was it for me. I was done.
Money isn't the root of all evil. The lack of it is.
Not money, the lack of understanding money.
When I put that into emphasis, when I realised that psychological effect and how it hit our family, I FTB all the way.
You are now watching the Money Mentor podcast
With Graham Home.
Graham Home.
Gone, see ya.
So my parents divorced early on. Mum did it tough.
Yep.
So we moved around a little bit between living with different family members. And so Mum's always been there, and she was willing to sacrifice herself and everything for the kids. After I graduated from uni, I moved to the Gold Coast. I wanted to be the first one to make a difference and get out of the house, and because we were all living together.
Yep.
So I have an older sister and a younger brother, and we were all living together in the same house. So I've graduated, moved to the Gold Coast to make a difference. Found it hard because I have some ongoing health issues.
Yep.
I'm not afraid to talk about them. I have a rare liver disease, which I was told I'd never play sport again. I'd require a transplant by the time I was 30.
Wow.
This is generally a disease that only comes out in old people.
Right.
So I was stuck in the system of Centrelink. I was not allowed to work a certain amount of hours. If I went over 30 hours of work in a week,
Yep.
they would remove my disability pension.
Yep.
The disability pension subsidised my medication, which was $5,000 a month.
Wow.
And as a kid out of high school, I couldn't afford that.
Yeah.
So I was stuck in the system, and I had to move back home and move back in with Mum.
This was after the degree or during?
Yeah, this is after.
Yeah.
So I came up to the Gold Coast, and I was up here for a number of years. I just couldn't make it work.
Yeah.
The cost of living
Yep.
and what I was earning stuck at those hours.
Yep.
It just didn't work. So I had to move back home. At that stage, my sister had a child, and she'd broken up with her then partner. So she'd moved back in.
Everyone's back in the house with Mum again.
Everyone was back in
Mum's
the
done
house.
a job. She's worked the guts of this. Like, got everyone home again.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we'd all ventured off, and we all came back.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, she's my rock.
Yeah. I hear.
And she's at the retirement age now, and I asked a couple of questions not long ago about how we can support through self-managed super fund and that sort of stuff for retirement, because she doesn't want to go down the low doc loan ways. She's fortunate enough that she's paid off her house,
Good.
but probably not enough financially to survive
Until
until
pension.
yeah.
Right.
So that's my why.
So you want to be able to help supplement Mum's retirement a bit?
Yep.
Okay. And what about ongoing medical now? So you've got a clear focus on health and diet and all those sorts of things. That's obviously helping.
Yeah.
Casey's whipping you into shape.
I 100%. Yeah. 100%. And the harder she hits me, I've had 2 calorie drops now.
Right.
So she's dropped me down to 1,600 calories a day.
Wow.
And I'm smashing it. Like I said, I want that monkey on my back giving me targets.
Yeah.
But we're actually starting to uncover through these nutritional changes and exercise some deeper underlying issues with my liver.
Okay.
I've always given back abnormal liver function tests and always been high in these areas of visceral fats and whatnot. But we couldn't.
I'm a bit higher than you in visceral fat, mate, but just saying.
Well, I know there's not much of me.
Yeah. But there's more visceral fat than there should be.
Yeah,
so,
it was astronomical numbers,
Right.
and they never budged.
Right.
So it's like there's no fat on me. How do I start attacking this?
Yeah.
So we've starting to attack it from a nutritional point of view, and so much so that the liver transplant specialist reached out to me and is thinking of doing a clinical study, because no one with this disease at my age has ever. So her ongoing studies of me is helping future.
Right. And so at the moment, nutrition's helping that.
Yeah. The turnaround. So I live with abdominal cramps for the last, well, it's genetic. So I've had it since birth.
Right.
But it came out when I was 17 and my liver exploded.
Oh,
Yeah. I put on 13 kilos in under a week.
wow.
Yeah. So,
So you're really focused then as well, like health-wise, lifestyle, nutrition, activity. That's not just because you can do two things here. You can sort of lay down and roll over and go, well, I'll be done, or you can actually look after yourself and look to improve it and fix it and all those sorts of things. Or do you have to get a transplant at some point in time?
At the moment, we're reversing the effects.
Really?
So she's booked me in for some more ultrasounds and blood tests, and it's looking very positive.
Wow, that's pretty powerful. So lifestyle, nutrition, take care of yourself, and it's reversing the effects of that genetic biology. Because I mean, I've got hemochromatosis, right? Nothing that serious, but the only way to treat it is I have to get a bloody massive needle every month or two, and they just drain a bag of blood. And I feel like we're in the medieval ages, right? It's like, just put leeches on me or something, like, and they drain the blood, and apparently all the iron escapes, and my ferritin level drops. But if I get busy and I forget or I reschedule, I get really sick and really lethargic because all the iron builds up and your body just shuts down on you. Not nowhere near yours, but even just that, I'm like, if I don't manage my health in that aspect, it's very, very dangerous, right?
So for me,
To be able to reverse it
yeah.
is wild.
So they talk about your liver as supposed to be as smooth as a baby's bottom.
Yeah,
Mine looks like the surface of the moon.
right,
It's severe cirrhosis.
right.
So that's my why.
Yep,
Ultimately, that's why I'm so hardcore focused on budget.
yep,
For me to have a family, I want to live for as long as I can. And I feel like I started 20 years after everybody else
right.
because of those health issues
Yep.
and starting from scratch with nothing. So for me, I push as hard as I can because I want to make up for that time.
Whew, all right, we're getting deep today.
It just it makes me really happy, him joining 60 Strong. I've just seen him starting to take care of himself a little bit more. We haven't touched on this, but recently after joining Infinity, I actually injured my back.
Yep.
So I ruptured my L5-S1 disc.
I was going through it.
And Brendan stepped up and was super dad
Right.
because he had to take care of our daughter and myself.
Yep.
And I owe him a lot, and it's just been nice to see him, making some changes for himself and looking after himself, and also his mum during the time that I was injured. I was stuck in bed for 3 months.
Wow.
So bonded with Adam and Shanae. Adam
Yes.
with his
Yeah,
surgery.
Adam's with, yeah.
Yep. So I had spinal surgery March of
He
2024.
would have been a good help to talk to. I know yours was before him.
Before,
Oh,
so
you
I
would have been
sent
a
him a
good
few
help for him,
messages,
yeah.
encouraging him. But he knows all about mindset, and
Yeah.
it's all in your head. So we stuck that out.
Right.
I was off work for a little while. Our daughter was 3 at the time.
She wanted
it was-
mum's laid up in bed.
Yeah.
We were
yeah,
scheduled for our first REM just as that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we
Yeah.
we canned REM.
Yeah.
It was that once we got word that she could have surgery,
Yeah.
it was 20 grand up front and out of pocket because it wasn't covered by insurance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
So your numbers are even better than what we talked about.
Yeah.
Because you've had surgery, you've had so you'd almost be debt free,
Yeah.
and you've had that time off work and used all your leave and.
Yeah.
Credit to you guys. You've been so for anyone listening at home, we've all got shit going. Spinal surgery, laid up in bed for 3 months, a borderline illness that if you don't look after yourself can really end your life. We're going through all of these things, and everyone thinks they've got there's some real shit. And yet here you are, sticking to a budget, dropping the numbers as costs go up. You're reducing your expenses. You're finding ways to treat it like a sport and improve that little 1 or 2% every week or day. I don't really hear I don't think excuses exist in your household.
No
I
excuse.
don't even think you know what the word excuse means.
No. And I'm sort of piggybacking on the 60 strong challenge. I can't do the 1 hour gym,
Of course, yeah.
workouts to that extent, but I'm doing the healthy eating. So loving Casey's meals,
Steps in together.
getting steps in. Cora's coming along.
Good.
So it's
Bit of
exciting.
time together.
Yeah, family time. And it's given me a bit of confidence back because after surgery, you get really anxious. What if I bend down and something goes wrong and I re-herniate my disc?
Yeah.
Picking up my daughter, I couldn't pick her up.
You would have been
I couldn't,
petrified initially, yeah.
just scared to do anything. And I think our first REM, the flight here, it was just,
They flew us
Just-
up a day early because
Yeah.
she needed the hour's rest.
I needed to lay down.
It was the first
and-
time that she'd left the house post-surgery.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. So landing, propping
Yeah.
myself up on the
Right,
armrests and but your staff's so lovely, offering, do you need a seat cushion? And
Yeah.
just great people.
Good.
But getting out of the house, after that and coming back, but I was sort of at a plateau of just being really cautious.
Yep.
Don't want to overextend myself, don't want to do anything to hurt myself and
Yeah.
end up back in that place. But now it's just been really encouraging to work as a team together. I'm getting my confidence back and I'm feeling a lot better.
Get your
more
groove
confident
back.
in my movement. But I owe a lot to his mum as well,
Okay.
as she helped whilst I was in bed, coming over and helping looking after
Yeah.
our daughter, and all the years that she had me living with her. So when I first moved to Australia, I moved in with Brendan.
Everyone
Hence,
was in mum's
we're
house.
We're all together.
Super mum.
Was it 7 adults?
Yes, yeah.
Wow.
In
Yeah.
one home?
Yeah,
And mum's still working at the moment?
just retired.
Just retired.
Good.
Yeah,
Congrats
yeah.
to her.
And
Just got rid of a caravan too.
Did she?
Yep.
yeah.
But now she's looking at getting a new one.
I was about to say good on her. Oh, I got so excited. I got so concerned. I got so excited. I got so concerned.
But yeah, not only helping Brendan's mum, I would love to be able to help my family. It's a big driver. As you said, your mum getting dental surgery, just anything that I could do to help my family if something came up. My mum, my parents both did the best they could growing up, and I'm really fortunate that I had someone in my family to help us, as kids, and to help, my parents, and I want to pay that back to them too. But, mum, she's currently in a family shelter, so she's experiencing homelessness, and just to be able to help in that sense,
Yeah.
it's almost, I look at our numbers and it doesn't seem real.
We want to celebrate it, but
And I want to celebrate,
it's hard.
yeah. But you feel a bit of guilt.
Bring mum to Australia.
Yeah, I know. It's with her health.
Harder than you think.
Okay.
With her health, I just
Yeah.
have to be conscious, of that, and just ongoing health expenses. And I want to be in a position where I can do that. That would be the ultimate dream. But I need to make sure we're in a position where we can do that, but still provide, that knowledge and that life for our daughter. And it's going to stop with us.
Yep.
And
So you got to find a balance, really,
balance.
of you want to help family, but you've also got to help yourselves first. You've got to apply your own oxygen mask first.
Yep.
So we want to get you to the point where we can, because it doesn't seem real. We've got these assets we're building, but they have debt as well. But we want to get to the point where you can, you know what? I can pay mum's rent on a little unit or condo for her, and she's good.
Yep.
And I can pay mum's this or help with her retirement. So it sounds like we've got some deep whys here. But you've got your immediate family, and then you've got it's still immediate family. But it sounds like we're well on our way with our results to be able to help with these things.
We understand that we've got to build our foundations first in order to support and help out. So we feel guilty at times
Yeah.
because of our position, but I feel like we're doing it for the right reasons.
In saying that, that 42,000 is going to be gone soon, and then the balance debt obviously is all deductible debt. So that really is a key financial metric we want to sort of forward plan for, because that will give you a really strong cash flow position to go, well, our other debt's deductible. Yes, we want to continue to build, but you'll be blessed and fortunate to be in a position to actually really consider helping them. So that's a bit of a, you know,
Yep.
6 months time plan.
Yep.
Yep.
And start
And
to
just
get a bit
since
sassy.
being with Infinity, just knowing that some of those possibilities can become reality, just forever grateful.
Well, that would be a sort of a 2.5 hour, 2.5 year, 2.5 hours would be miraculous. 2.5 year journey to debt free and be able to really support family and give back. That's wild. Because I always say to people, it takes somewhere between 3 to 5 years of your life of having a structure, a plan, being and seeing it through, and you can be set for the rest of your life. Because it only takes that 3 to 5 years where it just becomes meticulous, methodical. It's that you wake up and you almost robot your way through those things. It becomes your new norm. But you guys are a living, walking, breathing, perfect example of 2.5 years of hard work to be able to support those around you and yourselves. You should be really bloody proud.
Thank you.
So we're going to have to do a part 2 to this in 6 months' time, I think.
Yep.
So just after Easter, I reckon. Like a May, June. Do a where are they now? What would you, because some pretty, and this gives a lot more context and makes a lot more sense for people tuning in to go, wow, these guys have been through it, going through it, but I can see why they're so regimented and structured now. This makes a lot of sense. You would have had overseas travel, you've had medical expenses. Put a bow on those things, you'd be debt-free today, right? And these things will continue. We hope not, but think travel continues. Medical will pop up through our lifetimes. We hope not, but it does. What are some practical things you could share with people at home to be aware of? We talked around budget and structure, but what are some things people really need to be aware of? Or what have you found hard? Has any of this been hard at any time to be like, oh, that's difficult?
100%. There's been a ton of times where we've been challenged mentally for myself. I was going through the stresses and anxiety of managing finances and making sure that we were reaching our targets on top of stresses from work. So, you know, being able to work through those processes, those times, knowing that we were supported with the community and talking about it openly, those benefits that come from that, rather than myself at that time, I was holding it all in and bottling it up, and things started spiraling.
And I felt like maybe I didn't have the knowledge or the understanding to sort of participate in that. But since joining, and you know, the ethos of your company of couples coming together as a team, it's involved me in the process. I feel like we can now have these conversations, but we also have our team who we rely on, and you know, we love them.
We have the best team.
It's good to be able to bounce off your team.
But I think the challenge is just challenging that quick, you know, first thought of that was just a reflex, like, oh, just go and get it. Just go and buy it. And we worked really hard to get the land. We worked really hard to get enough money to build the house. We started to, you know, have our money start to work for us. And it was easy to slip into, we'll just get those things, and to pull back and to be a little bit contrarian and not sort of buy everything automatically. And
but a lot of those simple things that anyone can do. If you want to buy something, wait a day. Just wait a day. See how you feel about it tomorrow. Like, no, cut down on that impulse, that instant gratification, which, you know, as educators, we deal with kids all the time looking for that dopamine hit, that instant gratification. So it's, just learning along the journey I guess. And like you said, things go up and things come down, and it's going to happen. And if you can apply your knowledge and your learnings each time, it gets easier and easier the next time it happens.
Love it. You guys should be really, really, really bloody proud of yourselves. I hope you really take time to stop and smell the roses and understand you're doing bloody well, you're smart people, but how far you've come and all of the things you've overcome climbing the mountain that most people just roll over and go, oh, well, this happened to me, I can never work again. This happened. A lot of people, most people give up. And you should be really bloody proud of yourselves that you persevered in all of these aspects. And you're continuing to. So make sure you celebrate that together as a family. Make sure you take time to stop and realise how far you come. It's easy just to be laser focused and not celebrate the wins. I know I'm guilty of that through business over the years because it's just we've had so many successes and results that sometimes it's just like, oh yeah, I've ticked another. You've got to take time to stop and really celebrate those wins. Small, big, whatever it may be. We're definitely going to do a part 2 to this because I want to hear the 42 gone and I want to see what the plans are for family and the next evolution of... Because the strategy is always evolving and that's the joy of this process. It's like we start here and then we end up here and we end up here and we can go that way or that way and you've got to... It's kind of a choose your own adventure. We'll do the work. You got to choose which way you want to go, like those books when we were kids, right? So I remember those books anyway, showing my age here.
Dean's been wonderful. We've had multiple strategy changes across the journey. Yep. So, as we hit those targets or exceed them, it's like, oh, well, we were going to do this, but now something else has come up. So now that you're in a different position, there's different opportunities.
I love it. Before we wrap up, what questions have you got for me while we're here? What are you going to pick my brain on?
I wanted to start with the fun one.
Yeah.
Our daughter Cora had a question.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Our daughter loves dinosaurs.
Yes.
And
I love dinosaurs.
After listening to the podcast, and I know Beck is a big Jurassic.
Massive Jurassic. I don't know how many times I've watched the Jurassic Parks.
So on her behalf, she would love to know what yours and Beck's favorite dinosaurs are. I don't know if you know off the top of your head.
Velociraptor.
Velociraptor?
Yeah.
Yep.
Like Blue in Jurassic Park.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Velociraptor's cool because they're so smart.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know. I've never asked Beck her favourite dinosaur. I don't know. I'll ask her. I'll message her. I have to send it to you. I'm not sure.
Let us know. She would love to know.
I think Velociraptors, I think they're pretty, just because they're so smart. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Beck's, I don't know. Or maybe I'd be like a stegosaurus or something. Big, slow. I'm definitely not a plant eater, so. But I bet it's interesting actually because Beck and I both love dinosaurs. When I was a kid, they actually for a period of time, this is going way back, the newsagent, you could get these magazines and they had like a little plaster Paris. I don't know if you remember, and you could like chip away at it. And we both absolutely growing up were like, I'm going to be an archaeologist, and like really, really both frothed on that whole sort of genre. Absolutely. Like somebody gave me a Zen garden as a present. Rake the sand and it's got little rocks and stuff. And here I'm digging around. So I still love it. So good on her. She loves dinosaurs. So I love velociraptors. That might be a little bit scary for her.
No, she loves it.
I think I'm a stegosaurus, but I love velociraptors. I'm going to find out what Beck. I'll let you know so you can tell her.
Yeah. No, I'd
that's
love
a good
to know
one.
that. Yeah.
Do you want to... the other question we were wondering is we know that you're thinking of venturing into the US markets.
Yep, we are. We absolutely are. Yep.
And obviously... with Chantel's family being in the States and us kind of aligning in terms of wanting to support and help them, we would love to know if there's going to be learnings for us that we can...
Absolutely, yeah. So Infinity will be global. We could have sold the business 10 times over. We could today, every day, It would change too much. So it's not something that's really on the cards. We get approached by PE firms and finance, all sorts of different people that are interested in it because the sense of community just makes this business wild. And we're very conscious of that. That's why we don't try to cross-sell anything into it or sponsor pod. We're very protective of that community and that's what keeps it so strong. So the US will launch in Q1 next year. There's a lot going on behind the scenes. I'll pretty much, Beck and I will pretty much be here US, here US, here US. That will be our life moving forward for the next couple of years as we settle in and kids and stuff like that. But again, the business is really self-sufficient, like your deans and your teams. I kind of don't. I still run the business in the background, but I'm more operational, strategy, license sort of stuff. I'm sort of really slowly but surely just taking a back seat out, and it will be a brand. It won't be Graham. It's always traditionally been Graham and Beck. Those learnings globally will be available for people globally in the near future. So when you log into the private Facebook group, you're going to have members everywhere. We feel we'll have national ones, but we'll have global ones, and also in school. So the learnings will become cross-border for people, and I think it's something that a lot of people shouldn't venture into and confuse themselves with cross-border regulations, rules, etc. But a lot of people may want to buy a condo for mum because, I mean, let's face it, you can get an apartment for 50 grand, a nice apartment for 50 grand a door in parts of the US, you know what I mean? So there's real opportunities there as well around cross-border lending. So we can do loans for Australian families for US properties. So you can use your Australian income to buy an apartment in America. So that's stuff we're looking at. Phase 1 of America is nothing to do with real estate. It's only rapid repay, HELOC line of credit product, which they have in the US. They just forgot they had it because the banks kind of ignored them.
Under the
But
rug.
it literally, first lien here, it's our product, right? So we've already gone and got 4 lenders in America that are funding that. We've got a great business partner. They're licensed in 48 states. They're not licensed in Hawaii or New York because New York has a 3% refinance tax. Tell me you don't want competition without telling me you don't want competition. Imagine having to pay 3% of your debt to refinance it.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Wild, right? So you just get your loan and keep it. Refinancing isn't a big thing in the States.
No.
But yeah, so sure, there's all these things I want to tell you.
Yeah.
So US is number 1. There's a couple of other countries popping up as well. Initially, US is just lending. Phase 2 will be investments and stuff and other licenses as well. We're delivering it through with a trusted business partner. We already have US staff here in training, and our team's been going backwards and forwards as well, as people have probably seen on socials. And that's going to be really cool because I don't like BlackRock. I don't like any of those organisations like that own everything. And I don't like the suggestion of a 40-year mortgage. And this really popped off. It was on the agenda for years, like, yeah, nah. And then BlackRock came out in Australia this year and went, hey, we're going to help you with 40-year mortgages. And I went, no, you're going to ruin Australian families' lives. And that was it for me. I was done.
Yeah.
Beck's like, you're not going to let this go, are you? I'm like,
No.
no.
As soon as we heard Infinity was heading to the US,
It's exciting.
yeah, because obviously it aligns with us wanting to support Chantel's family, her aunties, uncles, cousins.
Yep.
So, no.
Yeah, so that'll kick off in the new year. Q1 will be in the market with a whole heap of just free value and brand. So the US will be like, oh, who's this crazy Aussie? You know what I mean? He swears a lot, and So that'll sort of we'll do a very strong value add. Here's a book, here's the podcast, free webinars, all that sort of stuff, all the podcasts, and all of a sudden, all the US, all the Yanks will be seeing us crazy Aussies and podcasts and books and this and that, and we're really just going to flood their market with a hey, you guys don't know what you know and you're being lied to. Mm-hmm. Please listen. And I'm really confident that free info is going to create some mass market disturbia. And watch this space.
Okay, that's exciting.
Because you're talking about 8 or 9 million mortgages in Australia, 85 million in the US. So just that mortgage market alone of people. And American culture is very pay your minimum, fixed for 15 or 30 years, pay the minimum. And if you've got $400 cash flow at the end of the month, put that into the market. And that's it. They don't refinance. I'm like, no. Let's destroy the debt, pull 50 grand out and put the 50 grand into the market. Like, oh, how do we create 50? It's a weird concept, but I've done a couple of little presentations in America already, and it was like hair stand up on your arm and the back of the neck, and Beck was there and Michael was there and our team, and it was like, whoa, like the way it hit in the US is stronger than it hits here when I do and you see that, I watch the chat bar, you see that light bulb moment day one, people like shut up and take my money and help me. Do you know what I mean? They see the value. It hit even stronger there. Because the US are, we have a big tall poppy syndrome in Australia. The US are much more entrepreneurial and want to see people win and our community want to see people win and do well. But generally the public, social media, no. But the US are much stronger and more vocal about that. So, and yeah, we'll pop those in and we'll have a bit of that cross-border of, hey, you know, here's your Aussie education and lessons, here's your US and other countries to come, watch this space. But then we will be giving joint access to that and letting everyone interact. And I'm sure people are going to start bloody having holidays and sharing bloody swapping houses. It's going to be wild, actually. It's going to be really cool. So I'm really excited for that. There's a big decision because we're about to start a family hopefully next year. So we're looking at the data starting like, right, we've got this much time, and then things will they'll change for us. Yeah. So, you know, I mean, masterclasses is partly me, mostly Rachel now. If anyone jumps on a masterclass for a refresher, it's mostly Rachel. And, you know, a lot of the material you see won't be me as much. Yeah. So, which is interesting. It's exciting. But I've also created a whole heap more work.
Oh, you'll love it.
Yeah.
The conversation we has is, if I was on my deathbed, do I want to die wondering, oh, why didn't you have a crack at helping families in the US or the UK or anywhere else? And it's always eaten away at me because I've been thinking about like retiring and like, I'm in a pretty good position, we've got everything we need, when's enough? And like just really enjoying life and family. And I was like, I don't think if I was sick tomorrow, I don't think I could be laying in that bed going, I should have tried to help more people. And it's a big market. Yeah. And it's not for the revenue, it's not for anything, it's that American families are getting even more fucked than Aussie families.
A lot of people struggling.
Yeah. So hopefully they embrace that. They like to learn as well, and they want to get it. Everyone wants to get ahead in life, no matter where you are, right? Hey, we're blessed. We're in Western civilization, so they're here. The learnings are cross-border. They're global. It's you know, it's the same. Different languages, different terminology. Yep. But I'm excited. Yeah. So yeah, and you guys will be probably one of the first cross-border families to jump on board. I mean, Taylor and Chris here, her family's in the US. We presented to one of her family members. They were like, we're in, sign us up, we're your first client. So the first batch of US clients are starting in the new year, in sort of Jan, Feb, and they are family, friends, etc. So that as we go to market, we have our first proof of concept of, hey, here's our first 3 months of following rapid repay. It'll be like, whoa. So that will be kicking off as well. So you'll sort of see the real first, it'll be really prominent after a lot of free value and education and people absorbing it. Q2, you'll see it just as big and strong and crazy as Australia.
It's amazing.
Yeah, stay tuned.
I had one last question, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Just for my own crazy peace of mind and my love of challenges. As you said, we have a plan outlined with Dean for another property soon.
Yep.
Do you see there any changes that we can make, or another a push or a challenge for myself to move forward?
Yeah, the challenge is always when is enough enough. For me, I'm not wired that way to stop or slow down, but I'm considering, not retirement, but considering sort of stepping out and having all people in the roles and being more owner than operator, if that makes sense. Because I've done a rough, long 13 years of 25 years in the industry. It's never easy. You know, every day there's something new to deal with. But the challenge is when is enough. If you're wired to continue to grow and continue to be a little bit better and a little bit better, the next thing for you to consider would be a chronological strategy. Now, what I mean by that is, for anyone who's not a client and listens to this, but for you guys, is where I draw up and say, right, we have, timeline of a 10-year plan, say, or a 15-year plan, whatever it may be. And then you map that out and say we have these 4 transactions here right now, and we can add a 5th, right? And then that's your borrowing capacity, and you just need time in the market, not timing the market. And over the next 10, 15, whatever years, you hopefully make some decent amount of money. Now, you can't go any further than that based on what the bank will give you and your circumstances, but you can. So and there's risk attached to it. What I have done very well for myself, very aggressively, but for clients not so aggressively, is go, right, how do we get transactions 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? Okay, we have liquidity right now. We have deposit sitting there because we've paid off our loan and we could redraw it, but the bank will only let us get number 5. Okay, after number 5, we're stuck. Okay, we pay down debt, we save up more equity. Well, we can put a deposit on number 6, but the bank won't give us the money to settle it. Now, why I talked about chronological time frame is we can put a deposit on 6, but we have to design a strategy that says to settle 6, you must let me sell number 1, realize its gain, and then you open up the lending capacity you had from 1 to settle 6. So you'll only be maintaining 5 facilities and assets at any one time. But by realizing the gain, hopefully, or the debt reduction and gain in asset 1, that liquidation should provide the serviceability for not just 6, but also 7. Does that make sense?
Yep.
And one of the tricks for our client community, and I do this myself, so I understand it intimately to become a sophisticated investor. Holding forever is a strategy. I don't really consider it strategy. It's just buy something and never sell, right? I don't think that's actually a strategy. Leveraging the equity against those assets is a strategy attached, part of buy and hold. However, cash and equity are not the same thing. You can borrow up to 80 or 90%, but when I sell, I get 100%. So I unlock unusable equity, and I only pay tax on part of it because 50% of it is CGT free. Now, meaning getting tax-free income. So imagine if we get to property 6 and 7, or 6, 7, 8, knowing we've got to sell 1, 2, and 3. But then we get 6, 7, 8, 9. You see where I'm going?
Yep.
So there is risk attached because we cannot get lending for those 6s and 7s unless we sell the 1s and 2s. We have to be very confident in the progression and performance of 1 and 2, or maybe it's 4, right? We have to be very confident in the progression of that. And this is why I have so many clients that have been with me from 2012, 13, 14. You meet some of them they're like, yeah, look, I made $1 million last year because I sold these 2 houses, because we don't want to be one and done and transact. We're not transactional, it's transformational. So there's risk attached, but you can build, and you guys are pretty smart, we build a chronological strategy that's a little bit more aggressive. The risks are still being employed, still having our health, still having our ink, still following the strategy that we're underway with, and knowing we have to liquidate X to settle Y, C to settle D. And as long as we understand the risks and implications of that, that would be the next evolution.
That's fantastic. I'm very visual,
Yeah.
so I like to reverse engineer things. So now that I can see what our future ambition or future goal is, in my mind, I'm going to start working backwards. And
Yeah, you can whiteboard that out now and go, okay, so
Yep.
we're capped here. Thanks, Dean. Okay, if we were to liquidate A and it provides X amount of capital, now tell me my capacity, Dean. So it's like a futuristic capacity. It's very complex to work out because it's all make-believe pie in the sky, but it works.
yep,
And that's what a lot of people who've been with me a long time are doing. So you'll talk to the Steve and Sue Anns, the Megan and Jeremy's, they're selling down assets from 4, 5 or 9 years ago now that have had a return, luckily, in the market. There's no guarantees in anything. But when you got that performance, let's take the money off the table. And that's where I say sell 1, buy 2. Sell 2, buy 4. Because that clearance of debt and, that property's a bit older now and I've got to fix things and it's, and then go start again, reset, and off we go. That's the stuff I get excited by now. That's where sort of my head plays now. I sort of play in that space of how people can grow, and that's where I have a lot of fun, because that's what Beck and I are doing every day. So you can map that out now, and you can go, right, okay, there's my timeline. Okay, here's what we have. This is where we cap out as we add the next one. Oh, but that one there, I can see what that's doing. You know, we had one the other day that they bought it years ago. Took years for the land to register in COVID, build the house, I think it was 739 or something, and they're selling it for like $1,050,000. And they've only had tenants in it for like 12 or 18 months. It's like a couple of $100,000. And they could sit on it and it might be worth 1.2, but it's like 300 odd grand off their home loan. So it's working those numbers to get to I think Airbnb, control a bigger asset base, but you don't actually have to own it all at the same time. But that, again, the risks of buying, you know, putting a deposit on land that doesn't yet exist, they're pushing dirt around, or buying, you know, beachfront apartment off the plan and they're built, you know, there's those risks then in that model, because otherwise, here and now, we can't get online and just buy the house around the corner today because our serviceability is capped. But right now, sadly, in the housing crisis we're in, I've been able to make good money by putting a 10% deposit down. I've been getting 100% return on investment, because I'm putting down, let's say I put down 100 grand on $1 million unit, and when it finishes, it's gone up more than 100 grand.
I feel like people are hindered by ambition sometimes and wanting that forever home up front.
Yeah, the forever home is a one day, someday. I thought we'd bought our forever home. Then we got the one next door. I'm like, ooh, and then we were going to reno, and then they said, no, it's cheaper to knock down. I'm like, I'm not knocking it. This is wild. So we've actually just bought our forever home, and we move next year. So, and it's a forever, ever, ever. So I think it's something that you work your way to. Just because you can afford payments doesn't mean you should do. You should be really conscious of, can I just do it with cash and all that sort of stuff. And it's a journey, you know, it takes years and years, but if you stick at it, eventually you sit back and go, oh wow, look where we are. And you feel like you blink and you miss it. So, anything else?
Did you want to ask that last one?
The backyard. So we had, when we moved in, an alfresco, and the bank knocked us back because it was going to add too much to extend it as
They
part
told
of
us
the build.
it wasn't worthwhile.
Yeah.
Right.
So then after a few years, we had saved up and we went ahead and got a builder and extended the alfresco, but there was lots of issues. So now it's sort of...
So was it $30,000 alfresco through the builders, which got shut down by the bank?
Yep.
Cost us $45,000 to go after handover to get a builder to do it for us.
Right.
And $75,000 later, builder's gone under and disappeared, and we're left with a massive, shonky, shitty job.
So you need to claim against the home warranty insurance. So you should have had a contract for that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That contract, when the builder does any works over a certain amount, depending on the state or territory, in that contract, there's something called the home warranty scheme. They have to pay when they're building any or doing any job. They put an amount of money into a fund for that. So I'd be making how long ago was it?
Through COVID.
Yeah, it was during COVID.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You need to talk to the lawyer about that. It might be too late. But all those sorts of things, when you've got that, there's that home warranty scheme where then there's a remediation to get a good licensed builder out to fix it and make a claim. We can talk to the lawyers about it, but they won't charge you, because we use one of the lawyers you've used on your other transactions. Just get some advice if it's too late to claim or not. Because if the builder's disappeared, it's not them, but we can look at the home warranty scheme and claim against that. If not, then we need to look at the remediation, get like a pest build, like a building defect report, look at it all, and then fix it, because you can't. It's not safe.
We were just torn between paying down or spending. So
look, if it's safe and not pretty, you could leave it. If it's unsafe for yourself and your daughter, then I wouldn't leave it. The safety is the biggest thing, right? Is it safe?
Yeah. At the moment, it's fenced off.
And not being used?
No.
Well, that's not safe.
Yeah.
So if it's structurally, and we've had to fence it off, and no, let's get it fixed. Because the longer you leave it, the more issues that could be caused. If it starts to get water ingress and then that filters into the main dwell, like all these things, if it does collapse, all these things that could happen, not safe. So I would say, yeah, we need to fit. And could be rip it down completely and start again. Could be, no, it can be fixed and it costs X because some of it's okay. Could be, you know what, rip that down, but instead of spending 80, 100 grand, it's not so, rip it down and put a Vagola in. Like on our reno we've done down in Port, and it had some stuff that was a bit shoddy because it was an old property. We've just sectioned off out on the balcony on one side just for the like southerly breeze and that barbecue, and put some, but I've got shutters in there to let some air in, and we've just done a Vagola. And it's just colourable, opens, closes, rain sense, all that. Heat, but structurally when we were going to like render and this, and I was like, I looked at the bill, I'm like, fuck, no way, you know what I mean? So there's always options, and it's about the practicality of the, oh, well, we've extended the undercover area, and you know, you might do a Vagola with bistro blinds, and it still gives the enclosed weather feeling, but you can open it up if you want. That might be heaps cheaper than structural stuff.
Yep. We'll listen to the bank next time when they say it's not worth it.
Well, yeah, I mean, they might have been saying from a valuation perspective.
Yeah, it was the
like,
valuation.
yeah, guys, you're being charged X and it's worth Y. That's something they have data on. They know.
Yeah.
They're usually conservative, and they're different opinions. But in saying that too, fortunately, depending on the area you are, we've got a really cool, large community of Infinity family. So I know like Dave Cherry's a chippy. Right, and I know other people in your area that are plumbers and sparkies, and it'd be interesting to have maybe put a post up and see if anyone's near your area, like some of these people. Like I know Paul and Jess, right? I know they're not near you, but there's plenty of people that might be in that area to go, mate, I'll come and have a look at it for you and tell you an honest opinion and an honest cost to fix it. And they might even know someone if they're not. They go, well, look, I actually work with a builder. I can ask him to do that for you without charging you a huge margin. I reckon we could get it fixed at a reasonable price or replaced. Power of community.
Yes.
If we can raise 730 grand in 2 weeks, right? I reckon we can get that fixed.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I reckon we do a post and put some photos up and go, hey, long story, but we've got to make a decision to go find a whole nother build. Who could come and have a look? Who knows someone, you know? Hey, happy to pay you for your time if it's a couple of $100 to tell me what you think. Or I'm sure there'd be 20 people that would come out and look for you and give you a bit of an opinion.
Yep.
Yeah.
At least it's someone that you can know and trust.
Yes.
Oh, look, I own my mistakes. I bit off more than I could chew setting it up. So
Yeah. Well, let's do that. And we're going to do a round 2 of this as we clear the debt and fix it all. And yeah, you should be really, really, really proud of yourselves. And I really appreciate you being so raw and honest and sharing with everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well done,
thanks for having
guys.
us.
Cheers.
You gone, see ya.